What's up guys? Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a fantastic day with your friends and family. But I had to come through and give you guys a video. This was very tough. Very hard. We were talking about my top foundations of 2016. First I was like, okay, top 3. Then I was like, okay, top 5. So I have 5.5 foundations, if you will. You guys will see what I mean here in a second, but let's go ahead and get into it. I think that I have found the best foundations of 2016 as far as I'm concerned. I feel like all the foundations that I have chosen, they are different in every way. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about what I have on my face right now. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in Deep 74. Now this is the old packaging. I've had mine for a little bit over a year, but I just kind of fell back in love with it. This is the foundation that I wear whenever I know I have a long day at the salon, especially if I need to be beat for the cheap seats all day long. I will wear this foundation all day at the salon if I'm working weddings, fashion shows, photo shoots. If it's just a long day and I need to look good, this is the foundation that I wear. I like this foundation because it is bulletproof. Once you put it on, it stays on. It does not budge. I know a lot of people think that this foundation is thick, and the thing is, it does have a creamy consistency, but if you use a beauty blender, it will blend right out. Just make sure you work fast. I will say this, if you do have drier skin, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this because this is like a matte, like suck your face dry kind of matte. So if you do use it and you have dry skin, just make sure that your face is nice and hydrated and prepped. But this is a really good foundation. I recommend it. I love that Kat Von D has relaunched the foundation, and now she has deeper shades to offer and even more fair shades to offer. So I love all inclusion. This is bomb. Alright, the next foundation is Too Faced Born This Way. Alright, this foundation is totally different from the Kat Von D just simply because this is not matte. I feel like this is a foundation that is very universal. I've seen a lot of bloggers talk about how it's not good for oily skin. Well, I have the oiliest skin known to man, and I love it. This is definitely the your skin or better type of foundation. When I wear it, my skin looks so healthy. I probably get the most compliments when I wear this foundation. It looks like your skin. It's not cakey. It doesn't like a mask. All I do to make sure that I don't get super oily, which I do no matter what, is I prime my face. I use the Becca Evermatte primer. Anytime I'm using a foundation that's not deemed mattifying, I always use the Becca Evermatte just simply because I am oily. But this foundation is really good. The con to this foundation is this is the deepest shade, unfortunately, which is Mahogany. Too Faced also did a relaunch with this foundation where they came out with more fair and deeper shades, but they just didn't get it deep enough. So that's the con for this one. I have 2 videos on this. I think I have my first impression and then I have an updated review, so if you want to check out those, check it out. The next foundation, this is one that I've only had for 3 months. This is the Hourglass Stick Foundation. Now, this foundation is an arm, a leg, a toe, and a tooth. However, it is so beautiful. Because it costs so much and you don't get a lot of product, this isn't anything that I use on a regular basis. I will use this if I'm going out. This is my fancy going out foundation, but this is a stick, and I use this as if it's a concealer. If I put this all over my face, which I have done before, it's like, girl, you were beat. And I don't mind being beat, but it gets me just a little too beat. But I like using this as a concealer or as like a center foundation, if you would, simply because this color range, my shade is Warm Almond, but the shade of this looks so beautiful on my skin. It warms it up, it makes it nice and bright and fresh, and it looks so good. And this is a full coverage 1000% foundation. And then Hourglass also has a huge shade range. I feel like pretty much anyone can find their shade range with the Hourglass foundation. Again, girl, it's just a little bit pricey, so. And then my next foundation, this is a foundation that I just started back using probably last week, just simply because it got cold outside here in Charlotte, North Carolina. All of a sudden, we want to go ahead and jump and actually have a winter when we're supposed to. Typically, it doesn't get cold around here until February, but it's just decided to be 32 degrees at night. So this is a foundation that I use only when it's cool. This is the Stila Aqua Glow, and the reasoning being is just simply because when the weather does shift, last year was my first time ever experiencing dry skin, and it threw me for a loop. For a month, I was just like, I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with my skin? Whenever I put my mattifying foundations on, I look super patchy, and I had to just go ahead and just do I have lipstick on my teeth? Hope not. And I just had to go ahead and just get a new game plan as far as how I was doing my foundation. So I got this. Same thing. Use my Becca Ever Matte foundation. Now, if you are looking for a foundation that is going to give you a legit glow, this is your foundation. This will give you a glow. Now, these two, the Born This Way and Stila Aqua Glow, they are not the same. This is more of a natural. This is a glowy foundation. I won't even say dewy, because when I think of dewy, I think of wet. This literally looks like you have a whole, like a natural glow from within. This is a beautiful foundation, all right? So if you're someone that maybe you're fighting with combination skin, or even if you have dry skin, oily skin girls can use this. Just make sure you prep and you set this bad boy with the powder, right? Because when you're naturally oily, you got your natural glow going on all the time. And then the last foundations, okay, these are two foundations, and they are both Drugstore. They are both mattifying. However, I like them for two different reasons, so that's why they are different foundations, but I'm gonna try to lump them all together as one. Okay, so we have the Maybelline Matte and Poreless, and then we have the Loreal Pro Matte. So, what I like about this one, I like the shade, alright? I feel like this shade matches me perfectly to a T. This blends out like a dream. I feel like this performs like a high-end foundation, and the price, you can't beat it. Now, the Pro Matte lasts longer than this one. I don't mind the shade. Like, the shade isn't awful, but I do feel like the shade for the Maybelline Fit Me just matches my skin tone better. But I can rock this one too, but this stuff is no joke. Like, if you want matte, like, basically, this is the Drugstore version of the Kat Von D foundation. That's just how I feel. Similar consistency, although this one might be just a tish bit, yeah, it's a tish bit more runnier than the Kat Von D, but as far as like how it performs and how it stands on through the day, this is really good. So if you're looking for mattifying foundations, you don't want to spend a lot of money, these two are good. I have the Pro Glow foundation as well. That one didn't make it into my top foundations just simply because I am oily and I do not wear the Pro Glow on its own. I always mix it with the Pro Matte. Alright, so I know L'Oreal came out with a new one, and I believe that one is like the total coverage. I'm like, yo, this is like total coverage. So when I'm able to get my hands on that one, I will be sure to share that with you guys. But that is it. That is going to wrap up my top foundations of 2016. I think this was the hardest of my top category about makeup wise goes, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas. Get ready for some New Year's makeup, and I will see you guys soon.